Hello, everybody. Welcome to Echo Underground. I am Shanique.
This is Mike.
And on this podcast, we talk about music, movies, and any other interesting topics. Today's episode is going to be about the new movie, Avengers Infinity War. And, guys, tweet us at Echo U Podcast. Let us know what you guys think of this movie. Or you can leave comments on any of the sites that you find us on. So, I'm going to give this movie a B+. And I'm going to explain why. To be honest, I feel like there were moments where I was supposed to care about characters that I was like, whatever. This movie feels like there's no real story happening, even though I guess technically it is. It was really like, okay, we're gonna see these characters, they're gonna do some shit, fight, switch to see these characters, do some shit, fight, and I was just like, okay, whatever. Thanos, he wasn't interesting to me as a villain, but but his, I guess, how people reacted to him made him interesting. Him himself, no. Like, his whole storyline, with Gamora, I didn't give a shit about that relationship. But, overall, visually, it's a really good movie. It's a very good experience, and I think you're gonna have fun. The humor, most of the jokes didn't land for me. But I thought it was really cool to see everyone there, and I think that's what gives this movie kind of like the edge, is that you see everyone there.
Except for Hawkeye and Ant-Man.
They're not important to the story. At least not yet. But yeah, definitely, I think it's definitely a B+ movie. What do you think, Michael, before we get into spoilers and shit?
So, oh jeez, I don't know. I don't have like a way to articulate it, but I'm gonna go ahead and give it my A+, because I know Shanique already saw this coming, but it's fine. It's getting an A+, regardless of my emotions at the end of the movie. If you've seen the movie, then you'll be fine. If you haven't seen the movie, and listen, guys, we're going to get into some pretty big spoiler territory, so you've been warned. But one thing I was happy about this movie, and I'll just put my broad spectrum out there first. One of my biggest worries about the movie was that having everyone from the entire Marvel Universe, from 19 whole movies now.
Not everyone.
Well, not the majority of them. The vast majority of them that, didn't die anyway. Actually, show up in the final movie, and it actually, unlike Shanique, it made sense to me. Because one thing I was glad that they did, everyone was split up, and it was 3 different stories going on. You had the space story, you had the Earth story. Well, there are technically 2 space stories that were happening. The one with Thor, the one with Thor and Rocket Raccoon and Groot and whatever was going on with them. Iron Man and Spider-Man.
We're already into the spoilers, apparently.
Listen, I already listen.
You didn't even explain why.
The moment I said spoiler territory, I meant we're gonna hit spoiler territory. Come on, come on now.
Nigga, just explain why you like the movie. Why you like the movie?
I'm literally talking about that right now.
Keep going.
Anyways, they didn't fuck it up by having all 150 other characters in the same movie, and it felt crowded. Because to me, it did not feel crowded. If anything, this movie also felt like a weird way to clean up the extra fluff of characters that were kind of in the Marvel universe, and I guess that might not be needed to go forward with the series. I don't know. I don't have an explanation, but it felt like a little bit of a cleanup. The characters that had untimely ends in this movie, I felt some kind of way. I think and it's funny too, 'cause I think the only movie in the MCU that I haven't seen was Dark World, and I think that's it. Yeah, that's the only movie I haven't seen, which is pretty much
No, have you? I thought you didn't see Iron Man 3 either.
And Iron Man 3, and Dark World I have not seen. But Dark World I know has more of a tie-in to where one of the stones were. I think with the Reality Stone with the Collector and all that. Yeah, so it didn't feel crowded to me. Everything looked awesome. There was a good balance of story and action. There's a good balance of character interactions, having everyone come back together to like since Civil War, things have been a little awkward. It's pretty cool to see them incorporate Guardians of the Galaxy and Spider-Man from all the outside stories and whatever. I liked it. I had fun watching it, and I can't wait till 2019 to see the other part.
Is it next year? I thought it was 2020. Is it next year?
2019, yep. Like, originally it was going to be a part 1 and part 2 movie, but like, they decided to take out the part 1 and part 2 out of the title. But it's really just coming out next year regardless. It's 2019.
Okay. Michael knows more than me. Okay, so here's my thing. I'm gonna tell you right now. This movie confirmed my hatred for the Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't like those characters at all. Peter Quill's a dumbass. I didn't even, spoiler alert, when Gamora dies, was not touched at all by that moment. I was supposed to care, but just didn't. And the funny thing is, I actually like Gamora. She's the only one I actually likes. When she died, it's because maybe I didn't care about her relationship with Thanos. I think if they build that relationship more from his point of view, or maybe more flashbacks in the part 1 and part 2, then you know what, when he I guess sacrificed her for the Soul Stone, then I would have been like, oh, that's really sad because it's her dad. But then I'm like, bitch, I don't care. Like, I didn't want her to die. If anyone had to die, I wish it was Peter. But well, technically,
right.
But we'll get to the end much later, because we gotta give some predictions for like the next few, and I have some questions like, how the fuck where is Ant-Man and Wasp happening in this? But that, like, I just don't like those characters. I don't find Drax funny. Rocket I liked a lot more in this movie. Groot was okay. I mean, he was being an annoying teenager, but he's supposed to be, so I was okay with it. Peter, Star-Lord, what the fuck you want to call him? No. Just no to this whole thing. I kind of disagree with Michael about the story. It's really not a story. It's like, it's a pretend of a story. There's no real character depth. And like, also another thing, the relationship between Scarlet Witch and Vision came out of nowhere. Like, there were hints of it in Civil War, right?
Mm-hmm.
But she didn't seem to like him back in that movie. And in this movie, they in love and shit. And, she's doing all this shit to protect her man and all this stuff. And I guess, another thing that I didn't like, they skipped years. But they didn't tell us how many years. Or if they did.
Two, cause they're talking about it since 2 points of view. Cause I know one point of view from was from Civil War, the other one was from Age of Ultron. Because like that's when Hulk disappeared. I know that came up with Black Widow, and then the fact
but I'm talking about like from Civil War. How many years has it been?
2 years.
Well, to me, they didn't make that clear. But I realized that they did skip years. Because I was like, one, Black Widow was blonde. Steve Rogers, they all could have had the facial hair and stuff. If you just saw the character from Black Panther, you would have known it was 2 years because nothing has changed. Wakanda, maybe not forever. And also, oddly enough, to be honest, this is going to be a controversial opinion, but I guess besides Shuri, did Black Panther actually have to be in this movie? Because they only went there just for Shuri. Without Shuri being
Black
there,
Panther's the king, so you cannot allow them in. And one, he has the army that they help fight with at the end.
Let's be honest. That army would not
and
stand a chance.
And he was also housing what's the name, Winter Soldier.
No.
It wasn't gonna go. It wasn't gonna go by anyone else's authority but T'Challa's. Like, there's no one else in Black in
No, I'm saying if they didn't need Shuri, you wouldn't need Wakanda in this movie. You would literally not need it because they wouldn't have went there.
And Captain America also got his shield back from right there.
He was fighting before without the shield.
They had to be there, and not to mention Vision had to be there regardless.
I said if they didn't need Shuri to fix Vision, there would be no need for Wakanda in this entire story.
Well, that's the point. But that's where they were, though. I don't see part of your argument there.
Look, let's say they could have easily wrote that story with having Tony or Banner be smart enough to do it.
but they're not. Tony's in space and Banner's fighting. And Shuri is she even had this really cool spot in the movie where she's like, well, why didn't you do X, Y, and Z to like to like Bruce Banner? And I was like, wow, hold it down, Shuri, hold it down. Show them how you doing Wakanda here.
They could have easily wrote it that they thought of that. Like they could have easily they could have wrote them out. That's all I'm saying. I like Shuri, and I like, even though T'Challa didn't do much, I like them, but they weren't. They were shoehorned in because you could have literally wrote it differently and not include them. They
could have wrote it differently, but they don't get me wrong, Shanique. Any movie can be written differently, but like the way they wrote it here, they kind of made sense for why they need to do it. Because one, Bruce, he wouldn't take part in the fight with the Hulkbuster armor. Two, Tony Stark's in space. If they rewrote that, they have to rewrite a lot of things around it.
Well, okay.
They need Shuri is pretty much the only one they could have used right at that point. That and Wakanda was one of the most secure places there, so why not put them with the smartest person in Wakanda to help fix Vision?
No.
I mean, that's what it is.
I'm not saying they were bad. I'm just saying a lot of the story felt like, okay, we're gonna use plot devices to get these characters in. Now, again, visually, it was a really good movie. It's an experience. If you go to the theater, I do recommend seeing this in the theater though, because I think you get the whole ta-da, this is Avengers type thing. Then there was okay. Well, let's talk about, I guess, each battle, because what was the first battle? Okay, the first one was New York with Tony.
You mean, okay, I guess. I was going to talk about the part where, Thanos was in space kicking Hulk's ass.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. Let's go. Oh, I literally forgot about that. But, so it actually opens up where if you saw Thor Ragnarok, right? At the end, they see Thanos' ship. And we don't actually see Thanos, destroy everyone in the ship. By the time we come in, Thanos and his crew, which I forgot their names.
They don't really have, I think they
they have a group name.
They're called the Children of Thanos. That's all they're really called. But there might be something else, though.
I thought it was something of order, but I don't there's actually a comic book name of them.
Yeah, there is a comic book name of them, but
I don't know what the fuck it is though. I have no idea. But yeah, basically it opens up with Thor. They're on Thor's ship, and he basically decimated everyone, and it's only people that's really standing. Because we don't. What happened to
Valkyrie and Korg?
I don't care about Korg. What happened to Valkyrie? I don't know where she went. Is she dead? I guess. I don't know. Because she was on the ship at the end of
last. I was trying to look around with the body to see if Valkyrie's body was there. Because I know we saw Heimdall die. But I couldn't pick out Valkyrie's body or anyone else's body out of importance from the end of Ragnarok.
Yeah, so I don't know. Weird. But basically we saw Thor, Loki, and then Hulk were the ones that were left that can actually stand.
And Heimdall, but he got
he was almost dead anyway.
He was alive though, and he's kind of important because he sent Hulk back to Earth.
That's true. Rip Idris. I knew he was gonna die this movie though. I always forget he's alive in every type of Thor story.
Well, he doesn't really play that huge of a part. Like in Ragnarok, he played a pretty big part. But I think before that, he just wasn't a mainstay kind of character,
I guess. So that opening scene, I thought it was really cool. Loki died, and I was like, it's about time. But he died in a way that I was like, alright, typical Loki. I thought that was a really good scene, and it was a good way to open up. Thanos looked really good. I like that you saw his crew and everything. Why did he just kill Thor?
I don't know. I guess he's just. By the time
plot armor.
No. I mean, here's my thing. There's 2 times in the movie I've realized that Thanos could have just killed someone, but he didn't. After he got the stone, he was just like, all right, fuck it. The only reason he stayed around to kill Loki was because Loki attacked him. But after he killed Loki, he was just like, all right, I got my stone. There's literally no reason for me to be here among all these dead bodies and stuff. So he just called it. He was like, all right, fuck it. We got more stones to find.
But then he killed Idris because he sent. Well, then he killed him because he sent down the Hulk.
Right.
Okay. What did you think of the opening scene?
Opening scene was cool. I followed up directly where we saw Thor Ragnarok, and it set up Thanos really good because it's Thanos' first like action scene. Because in all the other previews we've seen of like Thanos or anything like that, we've never seen him like fight. So right now it set him up and like his I'm just gonna call them children of Thanos right now while I don't know their names. He set them up around pretty good. Well, at least one of them, because only I think like one of the guys talked in the beginning, the old weird magic wizardy guy. But yeah, seeing him go up against Hulk and taking care of Hulk in a matter of seconds was a good way to show how strong Thanos was. A lot of people don't know how to like scale Thanos' like strength against like other like comic book characters. This one I pretty much like solidified it, because Hulk, he got humbled, and then Heimdall sent him away.
Is it really humbled? He seemed to get scared. Like he didn't even want to fight after that.
No, I mean humbled as in like put in your like. There's another way you can use the word humbled. Pretty much like you got put in your place. Pretty much, you got shown that you weren't the strongest there is, as you like to scream out loud. So yeah, he sent him away. I'm gonna go ahead and say this right now too. My favorite character in this movie probably was Thor, because I feel like he had a lot of things going for him here, minus the death of his people and his brother, which is kind of saying a lot. But he did a lot of traveling around. He was in space. He went to the place where he got his hammer forged. Then he went back to Earth. He probably covered the most amount of miles, other than Tony Stark and Spider-Man and Doctor Strange. But yeah. Opening scene was pretty cool. Set up the whole story just well enough to show like where Thanos was, where he was going, and how damn strong he was.
Okay, yeah, I definitely agree. I think it was a good way to like remove Loki, because Loki has always been a character that's been on his way out after Avengers. I just feel like they were just using him just because he was popular. But it was a good way to close out his character. It was a good way to set up Thor's anger towards Thanos, because he used it as motivation for later in the story. And it also showed Thanos' power. I definitely agree with you on that. It definitely showed that when he, like... I wish the fight against the Hulk was a little bit longer, but I get why they did it short, to show that, he's even weak towards that.
He pretty much just body slammed Hulk a couple times and like called it a day, and I was like, God damn! Like
it wasn't even that. Like they trade punches, and then he flipped him one time, and that was it. Mm-hmm. That was the whole fight, and it was a little underwhelming, but I was like, you know what? They did it like that to show that I'm about that life. I'm really strong. Yada yada, and it did work. It showed very much how powerful he is. I think that was kind of, even though I do like it a little better, but you remember in Justice League with Steppenwolf to show his power, they have him literally decimate the Amazons. Yeah. I kind of like the fact that even though with Thanos it was just a small group of people, but he did destroy, I think there's, even though Thor said half his people, so maybe some got away.
Right. He did say that, but we never got to follow up on where the hell everyone else was.
We didn't have time for that. We didn't have time to look for his people. But basically, Asgard has a very few amount of people left.
Yeah, they're on the endangered species list at this point.
Really. And then after that, we hit New York, and we see Tony with what's his girlfriend name?
Pepper Potts.
Pepper. She's never was important to me. And then we see Doctor Strange, Hulk, and Thanos is in New York, basically to get the time stone from Doctor Strange. Right? And that whole sequence, I thought actually this is one of my favorite fights. The whole Thanos team versus Tony versus Doctor Strange and Spider-Man. I thought that whole sequence, which eventually leads to Tony going in space. So, my favorite character in that whole sequence, I like the interaction between Doctor Strange and Tony, because they're both egomaniacs. And now you have two people who have probably the biggest egos in the entire MCU coming off, and Doctor Strange was him and him going at it. And I like that we saw one line that actually, the first line that made me laugh in the movie was when Tony was like, yo, you embarrassed me in front of the Wizards, man. What's going on to Hulk? Because he couldn't change into the Hulk, because the Hulk was too scared to come out. Yeah, which I didn't know that happened. I thought he just had to get pissed and then he automatically came out.
Well, see, it's weird. The way Marvel's been going with it for a while now, I've realized, is that now they're more so like two separate characters completely, especially since Ragnarok. I don't know if that movie has anything to do with it, but now it's like they have to be on the same page in order for Hulk to come out. Like you can't just like I think in the Ed Norton movie where he like dropped out the plane and he just thought like, oh, I'm in danger, Hulk is gonna help me out, but like he actually hit the ground and then Hulk appeared. I was like, all right, so clearly you guys are just like separate entities now. You're not just like the one complete
like
thing.
a split personality type deal.
No, before see if it's a split personality, that still means you're one person with two personalities. Now it just means you're two. Now this movie just makes it look like you're two different people.
Okay.
Because like now Hulk can literally just say no. Before it was like you can get triggered and have no choice about controlling it. Now he actually has a conscience and like a character in himself where he just like, I just got my ass kicked, not really feeling this shit right now. Because when you think about it, the timeline between when he like got sent to Earth and when the other action scene kicked in was very short. Like he pretty much landed, explained it to everyone, then they got attacked. Like he didn't get a breather after coming from space. When you think about it,
Hulk should have pony up, okay? But I feel like there's like budget reasons, so they made it like a character thing. But I was just like, I thought it was funny though when he refused to come out during that scene. I was like, that's kind of funny. Mm-hmm. I was kind of laughing because of Tony's response and Doctor Strange and all that. I liked that whole action sequence. I liked how they used especially, you know what? Doctor Strange is one of my top characters in this movie.
I agree.
I liked how they used his powers, and I liked how smart he was about it. A
lot better than he was in. Like, I'm gonna say this might be controversial to some people. I thought he was a lot better in his action scenes than he was in his own movie.
Yeah. Well, part of that is probably because now he's mastered a lot of his powers. Right. Yeah, and
that's what happens when comic book characters actually get developed into their full powers. Wink, wink.
Taking shots over here, and I'm gonna ignore that.
Not at you. It wasn't at you. I'm just talking in general. Like, we know who we're talking about. We're talking about those other guys who, those group of super friends who would defend the Earth, similar to the Avengers. I'm pretty sure they came out first, but still, just what happens when you write their full powers in. You can get like a good transformation, like the way Doctor Strange had. Like in Doctor Strange's movie, he was technically at trainee level the whole way through, and now he's at like Sorcerer Supreme level, where like we're going to talk about it later, where he faced off against Thanos later. He looked so damn good. Benedict Cumberbatch. I'm gonna.
Yo, you jacked up his name.
Fuck it. Benedict. He did a really damn good job as Doctor Strange in this movie, and like he was like less humorous than he was in his own movie. But like that actually worked for him. Like he's actually taking shit seriously now. But
it was a serious situation. So yeah. I definitely liked it. Even though, there was like some sense of belief, like when Peter had to escape from the school bus. I'm like, none of y'all niggas saw that. But
hey, he provided the distraction, man.
He did. And Peter got his Spider-Man suit, his upgraded one.
Not right there.
In that scene, I'm just talking about the scene in general.
Okay.
But my favorite part of the scene is definitely when Tony and Doctor Strange work together and fight. They fight the I forgot which one. The
other wizardy one?
Yeah, the other wizard from like Thanos' team. And then they end up splitting because Tony had to take the big guy on.
Yeah, the one with the big ass axe, hammer, pickaxe looking thing. I don't know what the hell that was.
I don't know what that was either. But
that guy was a problem. That guy was like strong as shit.
I know, and since Banner's kind of useless because he can't turn into the Hulk in this scene, they were like throwing him around everywhere, and I thought the choreography was really good. I thought the action was really good, and I was like, you know what, Doctor Strange, I definitely like you more now. Like at first, I was like mad to his character because I was just not impressed by him at all in his movie Too Tough, especially the end. But in this movie, good. In 2 years, you accomplished a lot. You were training like crazy.
Studying up, man.
So, what do you think of that whole New York sequence with Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, and all that stuff?
I mean, I pretty much got most of my opinion out already. Doctor Strange's character change, excellent. I think it actually was well needed because him being in training mode and having a weak ending to his movie kind of put a bad taste in people's mouths. And I loved his movie, but I hated the ending, and I got a bad taste in my mouth too. But his character in this movie was so well done that the sins are forgiven now, especially considering what he does later in the movie. So I'm like, It's great. It was good to see that Doctor Strange went up against another guy who kind of used magic. Like, I don't know. He
an alien, so I don't know.
He mostly used like weird like psychic shit to go on, but like it was pretty cool, and it was pretty cool to see.
He's a telepath, I'm assuming.
Right. It was pretty cool to see Iron Man's new nano suit thing. He had that in the comic as well, but that's when he was like an asshole with the silver nano suit. I don't know if you guys know about that, whatever, but yeah, his new suit is really freaking baller.
Yeah, that was good. Real.
It came in handy at several points in the movie where Tony was involved, so that was cool. And then even the end of the scene where like, they started doing the chase into space, where Spider-Man was like getting sent up because Benedict got stopped. He got kidnapped.
Why can't you just say Doctor Strange?
Doctor Strange got kidnapped, and pretty much the time stone is on his neck. And like they can't get it off, so they're like, "All right, fuck it, we're just gonna take your whole goddamn body into space and take you back to Titan, the home world of Thanos." So yeah, that first second action scene technically was pretty damn good.
Yeah, and then after that, we're going to Scotland to see. This is when we see that apparently in 2 years, Wanda and Vision fell in love, and they're being all romantic. They're walking down, and then they see that New York is crazy. And they're like, alright, we gotta go. But then they get attacked by Thanos' crew. The girl, which I don't know her name. There's a woman in there, and then there was a psychic guy. The old psychic dude.
Oh, the one with the staff. You're talking about the one with the staff, right? Yeah. He tried to pull the stone out of Vision's head.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. The one with the staff, yeah. Those two guys attacked them, and you know what? And if I had to pick I got a couple of favorite Avengers. Wanda, she was awesome in this movie.
I think she did more work than Vision did in this scene too.
Yeah, because
Vision got punked around a lot in this movie.
Vision got caught off guard.
Yeah,
he got stabbed automatically, so he was fucked. He never got a chance to heal either.
And that, by the way, the staff that he got stabbed with prevents him from like phasing through things like he normally could, because that's what makes most of his abilities. And his strengths, but like now it's like, oh well, you found my one weakness. Guess I'm fucked. And that's pretty much his problem for the rest of the movie.
It's funny. I think it's not that the staff itself. I think it's where he got stabbed and like what's on the staff.
They even said it. They said the staff is doing something to him where he just can't straight up phase through it.
Even if
and after he got hit with it, he was just like, all right, I ain't never been hit before. I'm just getting used to this feeling right now, guys. So I don't know. My thing is he's never really had his ass kicked before. And now that we see what it's like, it's kind of like, all right, well, I guess Vision is all offense, no defense,
Yeah. Well, his defense was his phasing.
Right.
So he can't do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So now that he has no defense because he can't phase through the shit, he's kind of just fucked.
Yeah. But Wanda was holding it down.
Oh, yeah, she
definitely was one of my favorite as well. Her powers are definitely growing. Like I said, they hinted at the romance, and I know they have like a kid and shit in the comics. I don't want to see that. I did like that to take away like the weirdness of the fact that he's like red. They made him have his human version when he's with Wanda. I thought that was like, alright, because I was like, how that gonna work? But I did like that whole scene, and then you see Captain America, Black Widow, and Falcon, and they work really well as a team. And apparently Black Widow joined up with Captain America at some point. Because I thought she was just going to go over her own. But she actually joined up with them.
The Blonde Widow, yep.
Blonde Widow, yeah. And they fought them. And they were able to take one of his men out. Right?
Well, yeah, but he came back later in the movie anyway.
But then he died, didn't he?
Well, yeah, but he not in that scene was he like taken out,
Oh yeah, because they like they transported him out.
They Star Trekked him up to the sky.
Star Trekked him. Yeah, but that whole scene, Wanda was my favorite. Captain America still my favorite. Black Widow, and I'm liking Falcon more. Captain America's team in general in this movie were like really fun to work with.
I'm just gonna throw something in here real quick. I liked it mostly because they have probably the least amount of powers outside of Captain America, because he's a super soldier. But it's like the guys with the least amount of powers right now, because Black Widow does mostly martial arts. Falcon flies around with his little bird drones, and
He
Captain
has
America's
a little bit
super
of
soldier.
martial arts, though.
Well, yeah, it's true, yeah, but like not as much like Black Widow, because he's mostly depending on flying around and guns and drones and shit. So it was cool to see them hold it down against like shit from space. So I'm like, yes, Earthling technology and shit, and techniques and shit can work on shit from space.
Yeah, it's all about being smart. They definitely played smart. It was like, all right, these people got powers. We got to think a little bit differently here.
Right.
And definitely, that whole sequence, it was really good. This is probably one of my, if I had to pick like a top 3, this is in my top 3 of like my favorite sequence in the movie. What do you think?
Oh, that was great. I mean, I think they Vision had, like I said before, the opposite effect of Doctor Strange. I think now he just got nerfed, where it's like, I was strong as fuck in this one movie. Now I'm like, I got stabbed. That's it for me, guys. They found the one thing I can't that can fuck me up. I'm out. He did have end up having another action scene, but like he wasn't at full strength, and he pretty much just won because he. What?
No, go ahead. Finish.
Yeah, he didn't end up having another action scene, but he pretty much just won because he had like backup though. Like he had a little tag team to work with, which at the end of the day I can't get mad at that because you gotta do what you gotta do to win. But like he didn't really have much going for him, and the way he went out at the end of the movie, which we'll get to, whoo lord, fatality. But yeah, it was cool to also see these other alien dudes, children of Thanos people, like the female one and the guy with the staff. Cool to see what they were made of. I like their action scene. They were really well choreographed, especially that female. She might have gone a little underestimated, especially later on with the fight in Wakanda. I think she did excellent.
Yeah, and I was thinking about, so during this whole movie, I was like, how the fuck are they finding them? Because at first I was like, oh, the stones call each other, but I'm like, why couldn't Thanos find the Soul Stone then?
Right.
So how the hell I didn't understand how he was able to find Vision. Maybe he was watching. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe he was like low-key just watching everyone. Because how did he know that Loki took the Tesseract and all the stuff? They never explained how he was how his children were finding him. Because he said, find me my stones.
Mm-hmm.
And at first I was like, oh, it must be the gauntlet and the stones in it. It's like saying, yeah, but it's not doing that because he should have been able to find the Soul Stone on his own.
Mm-hmm.
So we just gotta assume they know, because there's no that's a plot hole where we just don't know why the fuck they're finding everyone. But it's cool when they do because action sequence happen. After that,
I mean, they technically didn't find the time stone though. Did they?
Yes,
yeah, they did. Yeah,
they knew
did drop down. Yeah, you're right.
They're finding them just cause. We don't know why. Which is also like another thing. I was like, why the fuck are you finding people? But then it's not really action, but we're introduced to the Guardians again, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is when my least favorite characters come into the movie, but they are important to the story. I know they're important strictly because of the connection to Gamora. They answered the distress call that I guess someone from Thor's ship sent out.
Yeah, they were sending it out. They're sending it out before they got attacked by Thanos, and while they're getting attacked.
Yeah, so they respond to the the call. I don't even feel like saying it. And they get there, it's fucked. They're like, what the hell happened?
We're not getting paid.
And then they find Thor, and they have a whole scene that I guess was supposed to be funny, where Thor and Peter interact, and he sees all these people, and he's not even thrown off. One gag that I did like though is that he kept calling Rocket Rabbit.
Mm-hmm.
I did find that low key funny. And then like later when he called Groot Tree,
right?
And he also understood Groot, which I thought that was really cool.
That's very cool, actually. Yeah.
So I thought, actually, surprisingly enough, Thor has chemistry with the Guardians. I didn't think that would happen. And the Guardians also bring in their own little thing into the they bring an energy into the movie. You can definitely be like, all right, yeah. And this also I'll put Thor in my top characters and Rocket, because I really did like both of them in this movie. What do you think of the whole Guardians and Thor section?
I think the Guardians, because they're pretty much like comic relief, and because they're also at this point in the movie, they're kind of oblivious to the whole situation. outside of maybe Gamora, because she knows what about Thanos and all that kind of stuff. She's probably the closest related to him.
Yeah.
They work pretty well. They had some good spots in the movie too. Like when they tried to track down Thanos, 2 times that they fought him, and both times when they got their ass kicked, they did pretty good. Dave Bautista, Mantis, we actually got to see her do something. I've never seen her do anything before.
She did something in the movie where she was introduced.
Yeah, she did. She's trying to like keep the dad asleep or something like that.
Yeah,
while they were
same thing she did in this movie.
But yeah, I know. I'm just saying that because now it's like just the only time outside of that we've seen you do an action thing. Like I don't know what kind of weird stance she has too. Like she did this weird thing where she's like clasping her hands and moving around, and I didn't really know how to read that. But yeah, it was fine. I thought Rocket was fine. Baby Groot was fine, which I keep having to remind myself.
Is it Baby Groot? It's Teenage Groot now.
Whichever one. I just keep forgetting that Vin Diesel's the one doing his voice, but getting a little chipmunk like filter through it or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, it was like you said too. Thor worked pretty well with them. I especially like the fact that they split up that group and had Thor, Rocket, and Groot go off on their own. 'Cause I think Thor and Rocket went back and forth really damn well as well.
It's like here's Rabbit.
Which is weird because he never really like addressed that. Like I don't know what he looked like he doesn't know what a rabbit is. You know.
He like looked and he was like rabbit. And then he's just like, all right, we're doing cool shit. We don't got time. We don't got time.
Right. The universe has stake. We gotta move, guys.
Exactly.
That was cool.
And then I guess I'm trying to keep with the Guardians a little bit. So the Guardians, the group, so they do split up. We could talk about the fact that you had Gamora, Peter, Star-Lord, Mantis, and Drax go to nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
And during the movie, they like say where they are.
Yeah.
Which was like, what? Space?
Right.
Like we couldn't see that,
like,
but
the entire universe? Okay.
yeah. And so basically they go into nowhere, and
nowhere with a K-N-O-W, by the way.
Yeah. And they go to that place and they see Thanos and all this stuff, and they're like, okay, we can get the Reality Stone. Somehow, again, Thanos knew that it was with the Collector.
Mm-hmm.
And they went to get the Reality Stone, and too late. Thanos beat them there. But he played them, in a way. I guess he wanted to see if Gamora still cared, and all this stuff. And Drax being stupid, because I know that Thanos killed his daughter and stuff, but they were not handling business correctly at all in this scene. And eventually, because they kind of fuck up, because Peter couldn't kill her in time, because Thanos, even though I don't think he would have got away with it because he got the Reality Stone.
Right, it was all a trick, right.
Basically, Peter couldn't kill her, and then when he had the nerve to kill her, Thanos used the Reality Stone. So he's overpowered by the point in this movie. He's way overpowered, and Thanos was able to kidnap Gamora because we learn later that she knows where the Soul Stone is, and she didn't tell. Her and Peter had a conversation earlier where she's like, "Kill me if Thanos gets me." And Peter's like, tell me why. And she said, if I tell you why, then he would probably have to kill you too. And her secret, she knows actually where the Soul Stone is. So, at least that's actually why we know, at least we figure out why he knew where the Soul Stone was, because he tapped into Nebula's memories.
Right.
And that's how he got Gamora to take her there. Was that he said, I'm going to kill your sister. Which, good character development on their relationship. Because they did not used to fuck with each other at all.
Right.
And now, Gamora is willing to do whatever, and so is Nebula for her. So I thought that was really good, interesting development from them. But what do you think of the whole fight with Thanos on Nowhere with the Guardians?
This one was pretty short. It's more like a test of between like Gamora and Star-Lord. Because Gamora's test was pretty much, do you really still have some kind of care for me? Like, but clearly not, because she clearly impaled his shit twice. But Star-Lord,
when she did it though, she cried.
Right, yeah, she shed a tear, right.
Yeah.
And then Star-Lord's test, he's supposed to kill Gamora, but he hesitated. Still pulled the trigger, but too late. He pretty much turned his gun into a bubble gun. And that was interesting because it gives Star-Lord this weird now romance arc, I guess. I don't know.
He's always had it, though.
Well, yeah, it was always hinted at. Like, you know, it's always like a little weird flirty thing on his end alone. Like, Gamora never anything.
No, they literally... They almost kissed in the second movie.
Yeah, I mean, they did.
And she leaned in on him.
You're right. All right, well, fair enough. I just never thought they'd actually use that in this movie where, you know, things start mattering. Especially considering how their fates end up at the end of the movie. But, yeah. This one was, it's kind of short, but it ran through pretty well. And the part with Nebula was in a different scene, but that's fine. But, Nebula... I thought she was kind of cool towards the end as well. She gets her own little spot. She was going through some things because she was getting torn the fuck up.
Yeah, she was tortured.
She was being tortured in a really bad way. Like, her body was in, like, stretchy, weird, like, slinky poses and shit. But yeah, that's, like you said, good little development between sisters. She actually, like, gave out the information because she felt bad for her being tortured. Which is technically both of them are daughters, so that kind of sucks to see that, but yeah.
It's kind of weird.
Clearly has his favorites.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that Gamora he treats Gamora better when technically Nebula is his actual biological daughter. That's the crazy part.
I don't know if
no, she said that in, like, the first or the second Guardians movie. She's like, I'm actually his daughter. And then she was always jealous because she got treated worse.
Right.
And he kept modifying her because Gamora kept beating her. But yeah, I thought that was good. Also, one thing I would give this movie, they showcase each stone's power really good.
Except Soul Stone so far. We don't know what a Soul Stone does.
That's true. We don't need to know. We definitely don't need to know yet.
I'm just saying.
We'll probably find out the next movie anyway.
Find out in 300-something days.
He already counting.
Bet.
But I thought they showed majority of the stone's power really well, especially the Reality Stone. Then I guess the next thing is Wakanda. So basically, they head to Wakanda because they come with a plan. We're gonna remove the Mind Stone from Vision because most of his stuff is basically Vision is still him. The Mind Stone he shouldn't, once they rewire him, he shouldn't need the Mind Stone to live. And then they can destroy the stone. And actually, before we do that, I actually want to talk about, because that Wakanda is basically the end of the movie. So I actually want to talk about
the Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, and Tony Stark.
Yeah, that's the thing I want to talk about. So they basically stole away on the ship. They saved Doctor Strange. And to me, the most interesting part is when they get to Titan. They was eventually able to kill the little psychic guy because they just blew him out of there. And again, because Spider-Man is a child, they very much emphasize. You can tell he's a teenager, but he does come true when he needs to. And he's also, like, I did enjoy his character for the most part in this movie. The whole scene on Titan literally pissed me off in this movie because I don't understand the logic of some of these characters. Which, again, it was so basically they get to Titan. They're like, we're gonna wait for Thanos, we're gonna attack him, yada yada, and then we're gonna remove the gauntlet because he doesn't have the gauntlets. We'll at least have a chance to win. And they go through this plan and a lot of great action sequences. They're trying to pull the gauntlet off his hand. And Peter, being the dumb person that he is.
Peter Quill, not Parker.
Yes. Star-Lord, being as stupid as he is, screws up Mantis' thing because he hits her. He hits Thanos, which knocks her off. And he's able to basically fuck them all up.
I mean, he just found out that Thanos killed Gamora.
I don't
which
care.
Which is also skipped, by the way. By the way, we're not going to talk about it, but, like, Red Skull is a thing. So, yeah.
Yeah, he was in this movie for, like...
The fuck?
I don't know. He was in this movie. I don't know. But, yeah. Basically, when Thanos gets to the planet where the Soul Stone is, to get the stone, he has to sacrifice something he loves the most. And apparently, he loves Gamora the most. He even cries. And, again, I don't care about that whole relationship. But I was a little sad when Gamora died, because she's the only one I liked, besides Rocket and Groot now. But Gamora dies, and with air quotes, because who fucking knows? I'm assuming she's dead, though.
She's extra dead.
You never know in these type of movies, though. And she dies, he gets the stone, and then he goes home to Titan. And that's where he's ambushed, basically. And again, Peter not thinking, because you know what? Because of him, she died for no damn reason. She literally died for no reason. I get he's emotional. But since I guess I'm not invested enough in their relationship to care about it. So when he, like, literally seals the fate of everyone because of this, and then acts surprised when he lost, I was like, yo, I want you to disappear. And he did, so I was okay with it. Mm-hmm. What do you think of that whole Titan thing? Annoying ass person.
Okay. Boy, there's a bunch of cover here. So pretty much Thanos is going up against the forces of Nebula, Iron Man, Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, Peter Quill, Drax, Mantis, and I think I'm missing one more person.
No.
Sure, I guess Star-Lord if I didn't say Star-Lord. But yeah. This action scene is really damn good. Now, Thanos has, I think, 4 stones. The only one he doesn't have yet are the Time Stones and the Mind Stone so far.
Yeah.
And he's here fighting off against, like I said before, Doctor Strange's moves in this one, extra good. Spider-Man and Iron Man, we got to see some Spider-Man action before with the little psychic guy. But I think right here where he showed off the, like, all his shit. Like, Spider-Man looked like Spider-Man right here. Iron Man. We haven't talked too much about Iron Man right now other than the whole little joke he made earlier. But, like, Iron Man, he had some really good action spots as well. His suit can do some weird shit now. Like, make one part of his body bigger or, like, heavy or clamp down to the ground or some shit. He actually was the person to make Thanos bleed. Because no one else got that much damage on Thanos. The little plan that they had too, which I guess I'll talk about the relationship between, like, Peter Quill and Iron Man. There was a point in this movie where Tony Stark was just like, I can't believe how stupid Peter Quill is right now. There's like a weird 10-second pause where Tony just straight up did not say anything because of the straight disbelief he was in because of how stupid Peter was. I'm not like Shanique. I do like Peter. He's clearly a funny comic relief kind of guy. I don't take him too seriously, but like he's also a cool action guy when it comes down to it. So I'll give him those things, and I did like him in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. But yeah, right here they had this little plan to have like everyone jump him at the same time. Like everyone is doing like their own little special thing to hold him down. Drax is holding his ankle. Iron Man has some kind of weird like electronic thing. No, sorry, Iron Man's helping Spider-Man pull the glove off. The girl's like putting him to sleep. A bunch of shit's going on. And yeah, it kind of sucked that Peter Quill got into his emotions. Wow.
And fucked everyone.
Like, you can actually see at a part of it, too, where, like, Peter actually had the freaking glove off of Thanos' hand. His big freaking hand, by the way. Like, this guy has, like, imagine a horse leg, but a hand is there.
Are you talking about Spider-Man? Not, you said Peter, but which one? Peter?
Yeah, obviously Spider-Man. Yeah, Spider-Man. So Peter was busy being in his emotions. But yeah. Peter Quill, sorry.
Star-Lord, just say Star-Lord.
Whatever. Anyways, everyone's pretty much trying to get his freaking glove off his hand. Glove is damn near halfway off his hand. He practically only has 3 fingers in the glove. And then he gets hit in the face. I'm going to side with Shanique here. Pretty dumb move. Because as we will find out in a bit, it pretty much costs half the universe.
He fucks everyone over just to get 3 hits. I get Gamora dead, but like, at least get the glove off, then punch the shit out of him. Mm-hmm. It literally made me hate him. Not even like, you know what, Drax, I never liked him, but I don't hate him. I just find him very annoying. Like, especially like the little scene where he's like, oh, I'm invisible. I get that's supposed to make me laugh. That doesn't work on me.
I thought it was hilarious.
No. But that whole scene made me so angry. And I guess that says how good the movie is, because you should be mad at him. You're all supposed to understand, but I don't understand. The fate of the universe, your girlfriend. You pick the fate of the universe. Now, also, before we get to... So, basically, because of Peter, eventually, even though I still believe Tony Stark should probably be dead. I don't know why the fuck he's still alive after that.
If you realize, only the original founding members of the Avengers are left right now. Alive. So I guess that's why they didn't kill Tony off. Tony, Hulk, we're not going to count Hawkeye, but Black Widow, Thor, who am I missing? Tony, Hulk, Black Widow, Thor, not Hawkeye. I guess that's pretty much everybody. Yeah, just the original founding members of the Avengers from
It
the
would
very
have
first
been
movie.
more of an impact if they took one of the founding members out, but
I don't think so. I think because that they still want the French to, that's fine. It's an opinion. That's fine.
okay. But anyway, Star-Lord's a dumbass, and basically to save, even though, let's be honest, Doctor Strange did not do it to save Tony's life. He knows the answer to getting it done.
I believe so too.
So he said it had to be done. This is the only way they're gonna win.
Because he did say that he saw like a whole bunch of like iterations of the future.
And only one works.
Right. So I'm guessing he knows the one thing that worked.
So that's why he gave up his time stone. Which, whatever. So basically, he gets the time stone, and I already knew Vision was gonna take when he went to Wakanda, which we'll get to the whole Wakanda thing, because that's a long sequence. And after, I'm already pissed at Titan. So when Wakanda happened, I wasn't even fazed by the end of the movie because I was so pissed already. Michael was fazed. I was not. Because he was shocked. At first, I was just confused. I was like, what the fuck is happening when I saw the end? But basically, also, I do have a question. How can Tony and Spider-Man breathe the air on Titan?
Well, I don't know.
Maybe it's like Earth-like.
Maybe.
Because Doctor Strange shouldn't have been able to do it either.
Peter Quill probably shouldn't be able to do it without his mask either.
Well, he's also half.
Well, yeah, half what do they call it again?
Celestial.
That's right.
So he's not full-on human. So he's a different story. But the rest of the humans should not have been able to do it. There's like, we don't
know the air, like the composition of the air there, but we do know it looked like it sucks. 'Cause, like, clearly there was a planet there, but everything went to hell. So I don't know what's going on with that either, for real. That's a good question.
Look, we needed to have them fight in space, so we're gonna ignore it.
Right.
That's basically what happened there. So basically, he beats all of them, and then he goes, and while this is happening, a huge fight is happening on Wakanda.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually thought that was a really good scene. I actually thought all the Wakanda parts were a good scene. Black Panther wasn't as impressive as he was in the previous movies. Because once he got fucked up by, what was those little creatures that they kept?
I thought they were Shatari, but I guess they are not. I don't know.
It looked like a morph between a parademon and that shit from Cloverfield. Like, it was just weird. I don't know what the hell that was. But Iron Man, Black Widow, the Warriors of Wakanda, Vision, which everyone was doing what they were doing.
Bruce Banner and the Hulkbuster.
Yeah, because that was the only way he could actually fight. He had to be in the Hulkbuster suit. That whole sequence is really good. My favorite in that sequence, I actually like Banner in this sequence, surprisingly. I didn't mind his funny parts, and like this part where he's like, Hulk, come on. He's like, no, and Hulk's being a bitch, and he's like, no, he's still afraid of doing it. Which you're probably right. He just needs to not get his ass kicked the same day.
Right,
I think this is all in one day, right?
Two? I want to say
because we never saw a night.
Night was when what's the name, Wanda and Vision.
Yeah, but that was also in Scotland, and that's different time zones.
That's true. I'm assuming it takes some time to get from Scotland to Africa, and it would still be daytime anyway. I think it was probably about a day and a half, maybe 2 days tops. 2 days tops.
It was a weekend. Let's just say it was a weekend, but
it's a really shitty weekend, man.
Yeah, shit got fucked up. But the whole scene with Wakanda, they had the barrier, and very strong barrier. So good job, Shuri. And they were basically they only went to Wakanda to remove the shit from Vision, so they could destroy the stone. Because Wanda was like, "Save my man," and they were so close to getting it done, but shit went wrong. And then a whole bunch of shit happened. But my favorite part is definitely when they let the little creatures in and they had to fight them. I thought that whole little sequence when they were going through there, they were fucking them up, but yeah.
Actually looked like a war, right?
Yeah. What do you think of that part? And then we're just going to jump to talk about the end.
There's a lot going on in that part. I'm not going to talk about everything, but I'm going to talk about some of my favorite spots. One, I guess this is not the only time since Civil War, which I guess is the only time he's even appeared anyways, that War Machine looked good. Because he's like doing this whole thing where he's like, doing airstrikes on the aliens. That looked good. the aliens, they came off pretty, to me, as like a threat. Like, these guys did not care that their skin was burning off trying to get through the Wakandan shield. I thought the inclusion of the Jabari, the guy who played M'Baku, he did pretty good as well. You know, who doing his little battle chants and whatnot. Captain America and his new like dual shield thing was kind of cool. I guess I'm a bigger fan of the actual round shield, but I'll get over that. One of my favorite action scenes. I'm just gonna talk about two of them right in quick succession. One, the all-female fight with like the female daughter of Thanos, or whatever the hell it was, versus Okoye and Black Widow. That was cool.
And Scarlet Witch too.
And Scarlet Witch, right? That whole female thing right there, excelente. Another thing I liked was the freaking weird, like, giant lawnmower thing that they had to, like, fuck up the whole field. I don't know what the hell it was.
It was something.
It came in there and it fucked pretty much everybody up.
Yeah. I definitely agree. Those were really good scenes. And I even like Okoye's little joke where she's like, where the hell was Scarlet Witch? Why was she not
there? Yeah, why was she not down here the whole fucking time? Like, she just, like, got rid of these damn things and used them against them.
Well, one, I think it's because she's supposed to protect Vision and Shuri.
Which she kind of need to be there now that I think about it, too, because that's why Vision got attacked.
Yeah, and that's also what fucked them over.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but if she didn't, everyone would be dead on the field.
Yep.
So there was no where she could be.
And I guess I'll talk about this too. But Vision's also like his not really a fight. Also happened where like he he tried to defend himself against this one guy the same guy who impaled him earlier, starting to fight him, and then Vision ended up impaling him, ironically enough. And then I guess that's where the whole Wakanda fight ended until Thanos arrives.
Yeah. Also, before we get my favorite part of the fight, Thor's arrival.
Oh hell yeah! I'm sorry, we didn't even talk about Thor getting his new hammer, but like express summary, he went to see Peter Dinklage as a giant dwarf.
That's not his name.
We don't know his name.
They said his name.
I know they said his name. What is it?
Isn't it Ford? Isn't it Ford?
No, his name is not Forge.
No, I didn't say Forge. I said Ford.
No.
With a D.
No.
I bet I'm right. If I'm not right, whatever. Basically, he wasn't really that good in that role, but he did what he was supposed to do. He likes everyone. He did what he's supposed to do. And he gave Thor the hammer, and Michael predicted during the movie that Groot's arm would become the handle.
I thought, no, I didn't think his arm was going to be the handle. I thought Groot himself was going to be the handle.
I thought you just saw the part of him.
I thought baby Groot was going to just die and have an actual part, because the whole movie Groot didn't really do anything after the part where he got the hammer fixed.
Yo, he was just playing video games.
Yeah, he was just playing Space Invader the whole time, and I was like, damn. So I figured, alright, he's going to sacrifice himself again, like he did in the first movie, Guardians of the Galaxy movie. But he didn't. Just his arm this time, the arm ended up growing back, so it wasn't a big deal. So yeah, that was pretty cool that Groot's arm ended up being the handle for Thor's new axe hammer thingy, because because Peter Dinklage lost the handle somehow or something. I don't know.
Yeah, something happened.
Right.
This also showcases Thor's power, so I thought that was really good. That's why he's one of my favorites in the entire movie. And the big ending.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. The ending, I don't know how I feel about it. Like, it's a cliffhanger, but now I have questions. Like, basically, they were not able to stop Thanos. And with a snap of his finger, half of the world's population is just gone.
Yep, he stole Doctor Strange's time stone. He got the Mind Stone out of Vision's forehead. And
he just grabbed that shit.
Thor almost stopped him. He ended up, hitting him really hard with the hammer. But he was like, yo, you should have aimed for the head.
Yeah, well, why was no one trying to, there were things I didn't understand. Why was no one trying to cut Thanos' arm off? Why was no one trying to take the head? We were just doing shit not to do shit. And I just what the fuck?
You gotta understand, this guy is strong enough to go up against Thor and the Hulk. So
I know, but they had plenty of opportunities to take the easier route. Like, that shit they were doing, Tony should have just blew up his fucking arm. Like, why were we trying to, pull the shit off? We should have just blow up his arm. Thor should have just went for the head, which Thanos even said. Like, why didn't you just go for my head?
That was, I guess,
I don't know. Maybe they were in the heat of the moment.
It's just me, but I think he could probably survive just like a regular bomb to the head or some shit. Like, this is a guy who tried to drop a fucking moon on them. Or moon meteors or whatever the hell it was. Which is also, damn, that was a really good goddamn scene. Because I was like, damn, something about to go wrong. But yeah. I don't know, but pretty much Thor ended up just hit him in the chest, and he bled some more.
Well,
but,
Thor put the fucking axe through his chest,
yeah.
and then Thanos snapped his finger, and we were fucked.
Yeah.
That's basically what happened. The movie ends, and then you see people disappearing. Your Scarlet Witch disappearing. Vision's already dead at this point. And then you see
all the smaller side characters then end up disappearing, like Sam Wilson, Winter Soldier, which I didn't think was a side character, to be honest. Which, by the way, I'd honestly say that Winter Soldier's appearance in the movie was a little underwhelming. Because I kind of wanted him to be a bigger deal than it was. Like, he got like a new
we didn't have time.
I mean, no, don't get me wrong. I completely understand. Like, there's a lot of characters to work with right here.
I did like his little team up with Rocket, though, on the field.
Right. Even though Rocket was trying to, like, buy his arm and his gun and shit.
He's always trying to buy shit.
Yeah. But, yeah, I don't know. I ended up watching Captain America Winter Soldier just recently again because I just felt like watching it. And I was like, wow, Bucky's so badass. I like this guy. And all of a sudden, he's in here, one action scene, and he disappears. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what happened to him, and that's too bad. But like Shanique says, probably just not enough time for real. But yeah, we'll get back on track. Thanos pretty much wins.
Yep.
Snaps his finger. A lot of the members of the Guardians of the Galaxy disappear. Actually, all of them. Only Nebula's left, and she's not really a member of them. Nebula's left. Everyone in the Guardian Galaxy is gone.
No, Rocket's still there.
Rocket's there. You are correct. Peter Parker probably had the hardest time going out because he had like a year to slow death. Like he was crying, like I don't want to go, Dad.
He always crying.
He didn't say Dad,
he
but
needs to stop crying in every movie.
It did end up coming off a little soft to me too, but that's fine. I get.
You know what? It's better than in Homecoming
when he was dancing.
When he was crying under those rocks, like a bitch. At least he didn't do that. He was just like, I don't want to die.
But hey, you gotta get them tears out in order to get your strength. It's like you said, your hashtag. Sometimes you gotta get a good cry in,
Hey, look, I need Peter Parker to be less bitchy in one of these movies. That's all.
I mean, my thing is, he's fine because he compensated with all the action scenes he had. He's technically, unofficially an Avenger now because he got blessed by Tony Stark to be one. So he did make some progress in that area, and he's a guy who's on a field trip who's now trying to save the planet. I mean, defend the universe. Now think about it. But yeah. So yeah, there was also that. So yeah, right now that's kind of where the Marvel universe is. Half of everyone is gone. They're just dust.
Oh yeah, and before we get the post-credit scenes, basically we see Nick Fury and...
That is a post-credit scene.
We never talked about it.
You said before we get to it. Okay, maybe you meant to say something else. This is why we say before we get to the post-credit scenes. So I thought you were going to bring up something else, but go ahead.
I don't know what he's talking about. Post-credit scene, Nick Fury goes bye-bye. But he calls Captain Marvel. And so, I guess it was a hint at her. I have no idea. Okay, before we even... I was like, I was a little underwhelmed from the post-credit scenes. But I get why they did it. I understand why I was there. They could have literally just put that in the movie. But, they like to make you wait for something. What is your favorite Avengers movie? You can't say Civil War because it's not an Avengers movie. What do you think is the best one?
Probably this one.
Nah. My thing.
You just asked me what it was, and she's gonna say no. You're wrong. Like, oh, my opinion is wrong. I'm sorry.
Why do you think it's the best one?
Because it has everyone in there. It's actually as far as like universe movies go, this one's doing it pretty damn. Actually, I think it's probably one of the only biggest ones that exists anyway. Okay, fine. It's probably the biggest one outside of I guess Stephen King's like entire universe. Don't get me wrong, X-Men is cool too, but this one managed to like have like.
Like if I had to think of one that was like just as big, I would think Days of Future Past. That's the only one it could compare to.
I agree, but I'd still. I mean, this is just an opinion here, guys. I just like this one more because like one, it has everyone in it. It didn't feel crowded to me. I feel like there's actual weight to the end of this movie than there was in any other Marvel Universe movie. Because literally the bad guy wins. There aren't many movies out there anymore where bad guys are just straight up winning. Especially on the scale that they're winning in this movie. Like he straight up just said, fuck half the universe, I don't want y'all around. I mean, I didn't get to talk about Thanos very much in this podcast here, but like I like him as a bad guy because like his ideal is there. Like he sounds intelligent. Like he's making like genocide sound like a good idea. I'm not gonna side with nothing of that, but like I get it from a villain standpoint. He like this guy is intelligent. He's not just like a crazy guy who's just saying like typical comic book bad guys who like I want to rule the universe for the sake of being an asshole. This guy actually like straight up has like resources are running out. My planet literally died because of that. I understand how shitty it is that people have to die for this. I ended up killing my own daughter for this. Probably the only thing I ended up loving in this entire universe. And I get it. Like there's actual weight behind this one. That's why I'm gonna say this is my favorite Avengers movie.
My favorite is the first one because to me, I guess maybe it's the fact that maybe it's the nostalgia purposes of it where you're like seeing this for the first time. But to me, the story's just as good as the action. And that was kind of what my issue with the current Avengers is. I don't think the story's strong. But the action is. And to the point, it's like, it's not overkill. It's not like the Last Night type action where I actually got bored because how much action it was. It made sense. All the scenes made sense in the movie, but I felt that, honestly, they didn't make me care enough about Thanos and what he was doing. So when he was having his character moments, I was just like, no. But I actually did like Loki. I have no complaints about the first Avengers. I have complaints about Age of Ultron and this one, but definitely the first Avengers to me is a perfect team-up movie. But I will give Michael one point about Infinity War. It was really cool to see all of them in one movie. I think there's nothing that could take that from Infinity War.
I mean, my thing is, the one thing that was going to make it crowded for me is if someone like was in the movie and didn't like have at least one good spot where they look good. 'Cause I feel like everyone, like, to be honest, I figure people like War Machine and Falcon, they're gonna have they're just gonna be there for the sake of being there. And it didn't really come off that way. Like, don't get me wrong, it's just weird. War Machine didn't disappear. That's a weird character to keep around.
It's random, so it wasn't.
I mean, they say it's random, but it's ironically that the original members of the Avengers are the only ones left. So I'm not gonna. I'm gonna call BS on them for saying random for that, but I will say maybe just make it look a little random by saying, all right, not all the side characters can disappear.
But
here.
Okoye is still there.
Bro, I'm not gonna count her as one of the Avengers.
I know,
though.
but like
she's a Wakandan. She's like a whole entity on her own.
But I'm saying they kept Okoye, but threw away Black Panther.
Yeah,
they got rid of Nick Fury, and then
all the big heroes who weren't original Avengers is all they pretty much kept around. Everyone else, I guess they pretty much random that. Cause hell, the Jabari dude, M'Baku was still there. Literally everyone on Titan except I guess Nebula's only there because she has connection to Thanos. Nebula and Tony Stark are the only ones on Titan right now. How the fuck are they getting off?
Nebula could get them out because she got there.
That's true. That's very true. She did get there with her parts also being fucked up after being tortured too. So that's pretty interesting.
She probably stole a ship and got there. I feel like
he probably ain't lying. And Tony Stark's armor is pretty much kind of fucked too at this point because he had this weird regenerative thing on his armor where the nanites would regenerate themselves. That was pretty cool, but even that shit ran out. But yeah, what were we talking about before this?
I don't know. You just went on this thing.
I have so many tangents I want to go on, but it's like I don't got enough time today. But that's fine.
Yeah, but anyway, the first one to me is a perfect movie. I would rank the first one, this third one, and then Age of Ultron as my order. So predictions. Also, I do recommend seeing it. Even though I gave this a B+, I still say see it.
B+ is a good grade. What the fuck? Even though I gave it a B+.
Yeah, but some people it's not an A. I'm not gonna see it. I don't know. Some people have that logic.
I guess that's why I don't. I mean, that's fine. Go ahead.
Look, I think it's worth seeing in the theaters. But if you don't, whatever. Buy DVD. Either way, I still think it's a movie that you need to see. There's not a lot of movies that I say, yeah, you need to see, but this one I think you do. Just for the experience alone of seeing all the characters. If you're a fan of Marvel, this is definitely someone who's if you're just how should I say it, these movies are alright.
Casual movie watcher or something like that.
There's a good chance that you're not gonna like the movie, because if you're not invested into what happens to these characters, you're just gonna see like random shit to you. Like, cause there's people that've seen all the movies, but they're like, whatever happens, happens. You're not gonna feel the weight of the ending, especially if you don't care. Mm-hmm. Like, I care because they got rid of some of the characters I like. But definitely see it just for the experience of it. And I do have a couple questions. Like, I have a lot of questions because, and like, how are they gonna fix this?
Well, there's also the thing that happened to the Infinity Gauntlet, which I guess, you know, it probably used too much power, but like, the Infinity Gauntlet is now like fucked. Like, the stones are still fine, but the Infinity Gauntlet itself is like just useless. That and the little Peter Dinklage, the Forge guy or whatever it was, he had a mold for another one because he said he can make another Infinity Gauntlet. Maybe they can use that in the next movie. That's a pretty big plot point that they decided to like just gloss over. Like, hey, this one's broken, but this other guy that I know can probably make another one, especially since now he can get the engine to run in space to use his forge or whatever.
Yeah, so there's that. But again, how are they gonna fix it? How are they gonna incorporate Captain Marvel? Captain Marvel, I'm not even worried about how her movie plays in this, because her movie's in the past. So whatever. What the hell is gonna happen to Ant-Man and Wasp? How the hell is that gonna fit? I'm assuming this is gonna happen before the events of Infinity War, or
I feel like at the end of their movie, someone's gonna end up disappearing or some shit.
Some shit like that.
Right.
And then I don't know what's gonna happen to Thanos and all this stuff. Prediction wise, I think you're right. I think they're gonna make another one, and somehow I think they're gonna end up using the time stone and just going back in time and shit. Who do I think? Obviously, I'm pretty sure like everyone will eventually make it out. I don't think they have the balls to keep anyone dead.
Right. I don't think so either. I mean, some characters, yeah. I feel like if characters like actually like died in this movie, like Gamora and Loki, I feel like they're just gonna be dead.
No, I definitely think Loki's dead. I think Gamora might be dead too. But then I'm curious about Volume 3 of Guardians of the Galaxy, because this movie basically changes the universe.
Well, yeah, you're right, but technically, like, behind Guardians of the Galaxy lore, there's like way more characters in the Guardians of the Galaxy than just the ones we've seen so far.
I know,
so
but
she could easily like be replaced by even Nebula for all we fucking know. Which technically she was there for like a little bit, but as a good guy.
If they do that though, they're going to have to write it really, really well.
I mean, it depends on how the timeline looks. You know, like it could be before or after the because I feel like there's more movies coming out after Infinity War Part 2 anyway. So it's like
I know, but it like audience grows attached to characters, so they're gonna like. I know eventually they're going to get rid of Iron Man. They're going to get rid of Captain America.
Yeah.
But they have to do it smart, because people are attached to these characters. It's been 10 years.
I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be like a get rid thing. Cause I feel like, you know, this is
when I say get rid of, I don't mean like kill. I mean, like, you know, eventually these guys might not want to play them anymore.
Right, yeah. I get that. It's just like, you know, they're using essentially this as the end game for the stories now. In fact, you know, the 20th or whatever movie end up being is going to be like the end game for the entire storyline until maybe like some kind of universal reset where, you know, I don't know how Sony's going to, you know, keep working with Spider-Man in these MCU movies, because I don't know what that contract is even looking like, because I kind of like his stories so far. I mean, granted, he went from like fighting a guy in a bird suit to fighting a guy who can literally fuck the whole universe. But yeah, I feel like they're probably going to go out on a good note, to be honest. I feel like they're going to have the end they live happily ever after ending.
Yeah, maybe get rid of was a strong word, but that's essentially what it is. They're going to have to transition some of these older characters out for younger characters. Or newer characters, because eventually I feel like the actors are going to be like, nah.
Yeah, they're running out of steam, right?
Yeah, so
I feel like Iron Man's the only person on the set who's like been there the longest.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Technically, he's the first point of the MCU unless Hulk came earlier, but I don't
know. No, I think Hulk and Iron Man are around the same time.
Right.
They're both the same year. I know that. So, but I think Hulk was the first movie.
Right.
And then Iron Man came in. But yes, definitely they're going to have to be very smart about it, but Marvel usually does. I'm very excited for Captain Marvel though. I really want to see how that movie looks. I haven't looked into it, and I'm not really sure about the woman who's playing her, but you never know. People could surprise you.
One thing I'm excited about is that she is going to be, I think, the first female lead character for a Marvel movie. Other than, actually, no.
Nope, she's the first.
Yep, she is the first. Never mind.
Yeah.
So that's going to be something pretty interesting to see, especially since she's going to have a really close tie into this story now. I have no idea how Captain Marvel's ever tied into to Thanos, and we haven't seen anything about Adam Warlock yet either. And I know he's a pretty big deal in the Infinity Gauntlet storyline, and we haven't seen anything about him yet. So maybe he has time to show up still and do some shit.
Yeah, maybe, because that was Guardians, right? He's part of that thing. Who knows? I don't know. This movie kind of left me with a lot of questions, but I'm very excited on what they're going to do. The ending was a little what the fuck to me. Not in a bad way. Not in a bad way, though. Not in a bad way. I think you're, depending on how you feel about it, because I have like some friends who did not like the ending. They were like, what the fuck is that? But I was shocked. And then I started laughing because his face was like really shocked. He was like, what the
Here's
fuck?
my thing. I never thought Marvel would have the ball. I mean, granted, I knew there was going to be a part 2, so I figured it made sense after a while, so I calmed down. But like, in my initial shock was like, wow, Marvel and Disney actually had the balls to straight up say, yeah, the guy won and killed half the universe.
Well, when they said part 1 and part 2, I'm like, he's going to win the first half. I
Right,
kind of had a feeling he would. I just didn't know the length of he was going to win.
Right.
I thought he was going to get all the stones except one, and they were going to end the movie that way. And it was going to be like everyone's racing to the last stone.
Because all predictions initially, too, were that the Soul Stone was in Wakanda, and we just never talked about it.
No, the Soul Stone was just in some other fucking
Yeah,
place.
we were way off with our predictions.
With Red, whatever the fuck, Red Skull?
Yeah, Red Skull.
He's still alive?
I need to talk about that, but like not right now though.
Not right now. But yeah, my recommendation is see the movie, and I think for the most part it lives up to the hype. I think it could have been a better movie, but I still think it's worth seeing. Closing remarks?
Excelente. That's my closing remarks.
Okay, that's his closing remarks. Tweet us at Echo U Podcast. Let us know what you guys think. Also, you can find us on any social media sites and other podcasting apps under Echo Underground Podcast. And leave some comments, like, follow, subscribe. And we'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye.
See ya.